Shalom and welcome to this evening, a very special gathering, virtual gathering, due to the conditions we are all in, the world is in today, from slavery to freedom, a virtual Zoom, pre-Passover Zoom, put on by Chabad of Camarillo. We have a wonderful program for you this evening. You're going to be learning about how to make cooked dishes for Passover. You're going to hear some music, and you're going to hear some messages and step-by-step guide on how to get this done. Key is not to stress. The key is joy. The whole idea is Passover is every generation we see ourselves going out of Egypt. Egypt means constraint. Sometimes we feel constricted. And going out of Egypt means breaking through all the boundaries, leaving our boundaries, letting our soul free and go for it. So first thing is, let's get rid of all the chametz, the bread, the ego that rises. Let's introduce some matzah. Make sure you have shmur matzah. Just want to give you a little rundown. If you do nothing else, and let's say you say, Rabbi, I'm not doing a Seder. So then, at minimum, I would recommend Saturday night and Sunday night, after 8 p.m. approximately, have at least a half a shmur matzah. Then you fulfill the biblical commandment. The first night, it's the bread of faith. Second night, Sunday night is the bread of healing. So those are the two elements we need, faith and healing. Make sure you don't do that with machine. You do that with handmade matzah. We have that for you. First night Seder, second night Seder. And the second most important thing is to share the story. Have a Haggadah, read the Haggadah, read about the story, about the Exodus. You know, how many people know what happened when what they ate on the Mayflower a few hundred years ago? But we know exactly what our ancestors ate 3,300 years ago and over 30 years ago. We know what they ate, matzah. We're still eating the same matzah. You're eating a mitzvah. You're eating a piece of godliness, and it's coming part of your digestive system. It makes you fly spiritually. To jump, Passover is to leap out of our restrictions. It's a month of miracles. We should jump at and have miracles in our life. And the miracle is that we can accomplish anything. We could break out of our bad habits. We could do whatever we need to do. So that's the short intro for you.
Hi everybody, Shir Muchnick here. I am currently in my kitchen, and with Pesach in mind, I had this idea of sharing a little bit of a cooking hack that I get asked a lot. And those of you who have come to our house for Shabbos, pre-COVID times, I can't wait for the next in-person Shabbos meal or holiday meal. I am looking forward to that. So I thought this would be a great platform to share this little hack that I get asked about. So this could be not specifically for Pesach. Pesach is coming, but this could be for Shabbos as well. It's something that we eat on a Shabbos meal or on Pesach, and that is gefilte fish. But those of you who like jarred gefilte fish, that's great. I never was a big fan of it. My father loved jarred gefilte fish, but I always loved my mom's baked gefilte fish. Now there's many different ways of making it, and I'm sure you've seen lots of ways of how you can make it. You can have it boiled, you can have it baked, but my favorite go-to is, and then I get asked about a lot, is the frying gefilte fish. Now a lot of people, when they come to our house for Shabbos, they might, and they haven't seen it before, it kind of looks like a potato latke, and they think we're a little confused that maybe Hanukkah's coming. But it's not a potato latke, it is the gefilte fish. The good news is you can get it here in Camarillo. In Vaughn's, there is, right when you walk in, not even down the frozen aisle. It's right on the end, in one of the frozen sections. In the front, you'll see a kosher section. They have pre-cooked stuff, also little kugels. But if you look on the bottom, you should find gefilte fish, frozen gefilte fish. This one's not in its package because this one was from a double package, and I used one last week. But it usually says gefilte fish on it. You can get the sweet ones, the unsweetened ones, whatever you prefer. So let me show you the little hack that I do in my kitchen. And I used to actually defrost the whole thing, so you have to wait for that. Add an egg, add breadcrumbs, add seasoning, and then mix it, and then plop it into my frying pan. Don't want to get the oil so hot. Well, there's actually an easier way of doing this. You literally let the gefilte fish thaw out, I'd say for 10 minutes or so. So just forget it on your counter for a little bit. You open up the package, okay? And you cut maybe a 1/4 inch. This is almost embarrassing how easy this is, but I'm telling you, it tastes delicious. And there's not any work that really goes into it. So you cut a little piece and you plop it into your fryer. Okay, do you hear that sound? That's the gefilte fish. And it tastes so good. You let it for about, now because it's a little bit frozen, you want to keep maybe 2 or 3 minutes, or I'd say 2 minutes on each side. And then you turn it over. It's literally that simple. Frozen gefilte fish from Vaughn's into the fryer, put it on your table, and people are gonna ask you, what is this? Is it really gefilte fish? And you can tell them the trick. I'm telling you the trick. So now you'll know how it got there. But listen, it's delicious. I couldn't find local, when it comes to Pesach, when we get our maror, the horseradish, you kind of have to get it at a kosher store. So reach out if you would like maror, we can get you some. But I've seen people take the leftover maror that you're making for your Seder plate. You can actually make a homemade grain. Horseradish, some beets. I would look up a recipe online. But just keep that in mind. If you want to serve the gefilte fish, you can make some homemade with the maror grain. But don't taste it before the Seder. You're supposed to save everything that's on the Seder plate for the Seder night, but after you eat from the Seder plate, when you get to the Shulchan Aruch, when you get to the meal, then you can taste it. Anyway, have a great, happy Pesach, and reach out with any questions, and I hope you make some yummy, delicious gefilte fish. I am going to turn over my gefilte fish soon, and it'll be nice and golden brown. Bye.
ממצרים גייתנו, מבייס עבודים פדיסונו. ממצרים גייתנו, מבייס עבודים פדיסונו. ממצרים גייתנו, מבייס עבודים פדיסונו. ממצרים. Out of Egypt we go, out of Egypt we go. Mimitzrayim. Out of Egypt we go, out of Egypt we go. Mimitzrayim. Hashem took us out. Mimitzrayim. Mimitzrayim geyatonu, mibeis avodim pidisonu. Hashem took us out of Mimitzrayim geyatonu, mibeis avodim.
Hi, I'm Leah Lang, and I'm excited to share with you 2 recipes that are classics in our home. These are recipes we use all year round, and if you've been to my house, you know that there is no meal without a classic green fresh salad. And the ingredients are all kosher for Passover. In fact, the 3 ingredients that I put in my salad are the same ingredients that I use for many foods on Passover. There's kosher salt or sea salt, fresh lemon juice, and olive oil. Now with lemon juice, you're going to get a much greater tasting salad if you squeeze the lemon juice straight onto the salad and try to get the pulp into it. One of the things I do is roll the lemon to make sure it becomes really juicy. I get my knife. And the order that I like to do with my salads is first put a little bit of salt. Now, I really don't have amounts. If you look at the size of my salad bowl, really just put the amount that you think is the amount of taste that you like, your salt. for this size bowl, which is about enough for 2 people, I would use a half a lemon, but not just squeezing the lemon. What I find makes all the difference is when you take your spoon or knife and you actually get the pulp, and it's okay if some of the seeds get in, it'll just sink to the bottom. Just let the pulp get into the salad. That is one of the tricks that really makes this salad taste so great. So about a half a lemon for this size salad. And then I would say, again, I never measure, but for this, I would say about 1/4 cup to a half a cup of olive oil. I'm quite generous with it. For Passover, you could use any OU certified oil if it's extra virgin. But if you're going with the light olive oil, which I like to use the light one, you do need to get it kosher for Passover from the kosher store that has a special Passover certification. And that's it. And then I toss the salad and make sure it's all mixed around. I usually use 2 spoons. And that's it. It's good to go. Our second recipe that I'm going to demonstrate today is the classic potato kugel. But this potato kugel is gluten-free because it doesn't have any flour, and that is what makes it kosher for Passover. People actually use this recipe for latkes. You could use this same batter to fry it up as latkes. Now, one of the different things about this recipe is we blend up the onions in the chopper blade to start off with just one of the potatoes. So there's 2 onions and 1 potato. Just cut it up into just chunks, and we let it blend to start off with. So put it on there for just a minute. So once the onions and the potato are blended into a puree, put it into a separate bowl, and then we're going to use the different fitting on the blender to grate the potatoes. So we just pull that out, put it in the sink, and now we're going to fix our grater blade to the blender, and we are going to grate the potatoes. It takes 8 to 9 potatoes, and I'm not sure if you can hear me while I do this, but they get grated up. So once your potatoes are grated, now a little tip, I actually had these potatoes peeled last night. If you leave your potatoes in water, the potatoes they don't oxidize, and they stay nice and yellow. So you've got your blended onions with just 1 potato blended, add the rest of your grated potatoes, and there's just a few other simple ingredients. There's 5 eggs, and to make sure that eggs are kosher, we put them into a glass cup and we check to make sure that there is no blood spots in them. And that is what determines a kosher egg. So there's 2 eggs, 3 eggs, 4 eggs. And as you do this, a good thing to do is put your oven on 400 so that it's preheated. Because right when you put it in, you want the oven to be really hot. If you have a roast setting on your oven, I have a convections roast setting, it's good to have it on that setting to begin with. So we have 5 eggs, and then salt and pepper to taste. That's it. That's the only ingredient. Oh, sorry, and we also put in a half a cup of oil. Usually the amount is about 1.5 tablespoons for this amount. And we put a little bit of pepper and about a half a cup of oil. Mixed in. The oil is an important piece because when it's baking in the oven, it kind of makes it into a deep fry and comes out like a potato latke. That's it. This is a really simple recipe. You can use this as latkes. If you look, it's got that look of the latkes. Or you could just bake it in a 9 by 13 pan in the oven, 400 degrees, for about until however crispy you like your potato kugel to be. That's it. I'm happy to share these with you. I want to wish you a happy Passover, and we should all experience the freedom and blessings that Passover brings. And most importantly, we should have Mashiach now.
Shayam Dama Voice Shayam La Voiceinu Elonu Shelo Yechon Bilbad Namado Leinu Lecha Loiseinu Omad Aleinu Lecha Loiseinu Yakodosh Baruch Matzileinu, Oi Matzileinu, Oi Mi Yodom, V'Yakodosh Baruch Hu, Matzileinu, Oi Matzileinu, Oi Mi Yodom. Aviseinu melon Shelo Yechad Bilbad Amad Oleinu Lecha Loiseinu Amad Oleinu Lecha Loiseinu V'Yakodosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu Oi Matzileinu Oi V'Yakodosh Baruch Hu Yatzileinu, Oi Yatzileinu, Mi Yodom,
Kaddish, we drink the first cup of wine.
Orchatz, we wash our hands without a bracha. Karpas, we dip a piece of potato in salt water. Tachas, we bake the middle matzah.
Magid, we say the manistana.
Laisla, the rita, ha, le.
Rachta, we wash our hands with a blessing.
Matzah, now we eat the matzah.
Mara, now we eat the bitter herbs. Shulchan Aruch, now we enjoy the delicious meal. Saffron, now we find the Afikaiman.
Beirach, Now we say the after blessing. Hallel. We fill Eliyahu's cup with wine and sing praises to Hashem. Nirta, next year in Yerushalayim. Next year in Yerushalayim.
O Ilu Ilu Hotzianu Hotzianu Mimitzrayim below Asavahem Shvatim Dayenu Ilu Ilu Hotzianu Hotzianu Mimitzrayim below Asavahem Shvatim Dayenu Hoi Dayenu 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 yeah Dayenu woo Dayenu Dayenu Yabadam bay yabadabadum bum yabadabadibadabadibadabadi bum below us yabadabadum bum Dayenu Ilu ilu yabadabadibada ilu hotzi yabadibi yamba yabadam yumbo yabadam Dayenu Dayenu yeah Dayenu woo Dayenu 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 woo Dayenu one more time Dayenu Dayenu yeah right one more Dayenu Dayenu woo!
So, once again, the afikomen is the dessert. Some say actually the word afikomen means dessert. And the idea is that we're eating another at least ounce of matzah. That's a half a shmur matzah, preferably 2 if you can handle that. After a whole meal, you recline to the left. You can hand a little bit of if the leader of the Seder can hand a little bit of their matzah to everyone. But everyone should have this afikomen, leaning to recline it to the left. Make sure you ate what you ever needed to eat, because this should be the last thing you eat for the night. You're supposed to go to sleep with the taste of matzah on your lips. And besides 2 cups of wine or grape juice, that's all that you eat. So afikomen is literally dessert, also according to one opinion. Basically, this is what we eat to commemorate the Paschal Lamb. So after you eat the afikomen, first night it should be done before midnight, halachic midnight. Hopefully, Camarillo, usually we don't have that problem. Then you fill up the 3rd cup and the cup of Elijah. You get a separate cup. Everyone fills up the 3rd cup. Again, fill it up. And then you do the grace after meals. Biblical commandment to thank God. Rub-a-dub-dub. Thank God for the grub. Right? We're thanking God for the meal. You hold the cup. Usually when you hold the cup, you hold it in your palm with the 5 fingers. It's Kabbalistic. You overfill it. Cup runneth over. You do the blessing after. You make the hagafa and the blessing on the wine. You drink. You lean to the left. You drink. Try to drink the whole cup, at least 3.5 ounces, and that's the 3rd cup over grace after meals. At this point, you pour the 4th cup, and you open the door for Elijah, the prophet who comes to visit every Seder, and you send people to the door with candles, they're already lit, from the Shabbat candles, the holiday candles. They go to the door, and according to Hasidic tradition, the mystical teachings, the doors of heaven are open at that time. You can ask for whatever you want. Obviously, don't waste it on the opportunity on mundane things. Ask to be a mensch, to be a good person, to be a good yid, a good Jew. That our family should be God-fearing, our children God-fearing. And we should ask for better times for Mashiach. Elijah is going to herald in the coming of the Messiah of world peace. We should ask for that. It's a very powerful time. You say the prayer, doors closed. You come back, you complete the Hallel. This is Hallel is the second to the last step of the Seder, praising God. Going through those steps of praising God for everything He has done for us. The end of Hallel, including the 26th, the psalm that has 26 verses, which is in numeric of God's name, which is what the angels sing out to God. Hodu Lashem Ki Tov, praises God because He's the Olam Chasto, forever He's good. And you complete the end until finally you say the you make the hagafen again, drink the fourth cup leaning to the left, and you make the after blessing on the wine or grape juice, and you scream out together. Everyone says in unison, next year in Jerusalem, L'shana haba'a b'Yerushalayim, which doesn't mean we should wait a full year. It really means that the Messiah should come, Mashiach should come immediately, and automatically next year we'll be in Jerusalem. And that concludes the Seder.
Shono habo, oy Yerushalayim. Shono habo, Yerushalayim. Shono habo, oy Yerushalayim. Shoin, shoin, shoin Yerushalayim amoya. Shono habo, oy Yerushalayim. Shono habo, Yerushalayim. Shono habo, oy Yerushalayim. Shoin, shoin, shoin Yerushalayim amoya. Shono habo, oy Yerushalayim. Shono habo, Yerushalayim. Shono habo, oy Yerushalayim. Shoin, shoin, shoin Yerushalayim amoya. Shoin, shoin, shoin Yerushalayim amoya.
So may our Seder take place in Jerusalem with the third temple. Amen. One more thought. There is a tradition that when you finish the Seder, you pour Elijah's cup of wine back into the bottle, and people sing the song, Keli Ata V'Odeka L'Kaira Mecca. It's a very powerful moment to pour the cup of Elijah back into the bottle, and you, I guess, use it the next night. Have a wonderful evening.
נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות, מכל הלילות, שבכל הלילות הננו מקבילים אפילו פעם אחת, אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, שתי פעמים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, שתי פעמים, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה, חמץ ומצה. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולו מצה. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולוי מהצו, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים שיער ירקוס, שיער ירקוס. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, מחור, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, מחור. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים בין יושבינו ובין מסובין, בין יושבינו ובין מסובין. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובין. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובין. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובין. מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? Now you sing. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולו. הלילה הזה, לילה הזה, כולנו מסובין. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובין.